everyone.
And I'm going to go ahead and share.
I will let you share today. I'm so excited. So, today we're going to talk about alignment and what I call the return. And I have this beautiful deck. It's called the Rose Oracle. And I just love it. And I kind of pulled for inspiration today, like, hey, what do we want to talk about? And after the session, and we'll kind of equate it to our weeks. But we're wanting to give you guys a little bit of a lesson and a little bit of thoughts on more specific things as we go forward with after the session. And today's whole idea is alignment takes time. It's not, everyone comes to us and they're like, how do you know it's working? How do I know my things? Like all the questions. And most often we say, it takes time for you to understand. So I want to read this card. And the title of this card is called The Return, a new story. You decide. Alignment, it's coming together. You've waited plenty for this moment. You've likely been working on the inner for some time, and now the outer is beginning to come into alignment too. As the challenging beginnings, we are in a never-ending growth cycle. It doesn't mean that we're consistently in bloom. No, it means that we're consistently changing. This card is like the bloom. However, it's more powerful than that. It heralds the coming and going of the new way of being. The entry of a new story has been written. This card heralds a great shift in your life. This often takes time, sometimes even lifetimes. Acknowledge how far you've come and how much you've grown. When I was thinking about this and I was kind of typing in the title, I think of the thing that whenever you're like deployed or on an adventure, right? Like I've been deployed, days take forever, but weeks are short. And I love that saying, and I've always remembered it. Days take forever, but weeks go by so fast because we're in it every day. We're being in it and it can take a long time. But then when you look back to last month, you're just like, holy crap, I can't even believe how much I've changed. And in our rising chat, we were just talking about this week and how people are like just thinking on their own and they're saying, wow, I have come so far. I have come so far in 6 months. How I even had conversations with people is different now. Okay. I'm just going to finish reading this card and then I'm really curious, Jenny, because we've both had interesting weeks. We always have interesting weeks because we're in this space. I feel like we're just prepared for this. Things are aligning for you and around you. They are convening and coming together. You're in the right place at the right time. Your outer world matches your inner world. This card is delivering a message of harmony, coming together in embodiment, of holding clear visions for many years. You've been doing the groundwork to get to this moment right now, perhaps for months, years, or even lifetimes. Use this moment. You get to decide what happens next. And it goes on to say, I acknowledge how far I've come and how far I've grown. I decide what's next.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Dropping my stones here.
Jenny, I don't even know how to like deal with this.
Yes, the alignment has been very, very interesting. I'm still percolating a little bit on this idea, but let's see, I'm getting a little bit of feedback here. I've been going through a little bit of a, I don't want to say existential crisis because it's not anywhere near that, but I'm in this place where it feels like okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? Because I've always been a go-getter. I've always been a dreamer. I've always been this like, if you're not moving and trying to go for something, then you're falling back. You're falling behind. And I'm being challenged. That belief is being challenged right now. Because when I look around at my life, everything is awesome. Everything is amazing.
Yeah.
And all of the, and I just keep feeling like, well, I need another mentor and I need that next step. And what is that next goal? But here's the thing with the collective, we have all of these goals lined out and we've mapped them out and we're on our way. And the progress is happening like this. And it's beautiful to watch. But there's this weird part of me that feels like, I need to do something else. I need to do something more. I need to, instead of just being like, hey, I'm in alignment. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And like, look around, Jennie, you have this incredible fiance who loves you and supports you. Your kids are all healthy and doing what they do. Your business is growing and thriving and progressing. The world is beautiful. Like, just enjoy being aligned.
Yeah, I feel like that's such an interesting thing. I mean, when we were talking about this kind of shift and how we wanted to run after the session, we were discussing like myths. Like, what is a myth about alignment? And I think that there's this beautiful myth that alignment means you always have to be moving. You always have to be searching for what's not here. And to me, at least me as a person, that is not in alignment. For me to like always be hunting and pecking and picking at my life, if it's not in alignment, it will 100% show me and tell me. There won't be a question whether it's in alignment for me. There won't be a question for me if something needs to shift or change. I will know. Then the question will be, what am I going to do?
Mm-hmm.
When am I going to make this shift happen? What does that mean for me once I know what that is? And I feel like that's a really powerful message. I mean, it's easier said than done because I think we're always hunting. We're always hunting for the next thing because we want to grow and we want it so bad. We're like, I must have it now. I must have all the new things. I must have enlightenment. I must have. And if it's not all in sitting in front of us, if we can't close our eyes and see Buddha or open our eyes and see him all the time, then that means that we're not in alignment, which is just simply not true. Because if that were to be the case, then we wouldn't have a veil for forgetfulness in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we are meant to be here to feel things. And just because everything is not rainbows and kittens every day does not necessarily mean you're out of alignment.
Mm-hmm.
And just because everything is amazing also doesn't necessarily mean you're in alignment either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's kind of this balance that you create, and only you know.
Yeah. Alignment looks different for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the song Italia's on here, Hey Sister. She's one of my sisters in music, comes to us. And it's so funny. As soon as you popped on, I was, for every season, turn, turn, turn. And it's like, there's times where you need to grow and you need to push. Like the seedlings right now, they're pushing their roots down into the earth and they're starting to push up through the soil. So they're growing. But Jasmine said something tonight in our online group healing program. She says, flowers, and I'm sitting here looking at this beautiful bouquet right now. Flowers don't like run around trying to find the bees to pollinate them. The flowers are just flowers, and they trust that the bees will come to them because of their essence, who they are, what they do. They don't have to prove themselves. They don't have to force anything. They're just going to bloom when it's their time to bloom. And when it's not, they're doing something else. And so, yeah, it's just really, really interesting time period right now, but alignment.
It really is. It's so beautiful, though. But I think I was having a conversation even with Amber today about this. Amber is another one of our partners. She does a lot more of like the back end stuff, so you don't see her as much. She does our cute reels on Instagram, though. So if you want to see Amber and understand her energy, check out our Instagram page because she does these cute reels. Anyway, she was talking about that, and we spent a lot of time talking about alignment and just like what feels good. And we were just discussing when you don't have to be like moving at 100%, but you can if you want. And when you don't have to not be lazy, but you can if you want. And you can just be. You can just be who you are without expectation, without judgment. To me, that's what alignment feels like. And it
Mhm.
doesn't mean that I'm making $1 million. It doesn't mean that I have all of just a million relationships. It doesn't mean that I have like a million. It doesn't have anything to do with any of these like worldly measurements. To me, it feels like I'm able to be me. And no matter what anyone else thinks, no matter what the reward is, no matter any of that stuff, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I started my energy path. I started this kind of work being a master resiliency instructor for the military. And I taught this lesson called value based goals. And I was like, oh my God, I always have to teach this lesson. Why? Why am I always having to teach this lesson? There's like 12 lessons, and I always got called upon to teach this particular lesson. This and spirituality. And I'm just like, oh, this was before, like, this was a while ago, and this was before I was really into it because I wasn't religious before this anyway. Um, before I walked on this path and it took over my whole life. And now I'm like one of the most spiritual people. But I am personal. Anyway, sidebar. Boop, boop, boop. I just wanted to defend spirituality for 1 second and let you guys know that there was a time when Jasmine wasn't, and now here I am waving my spiritual flag all over. Anyway, I had to teach this class, and it was always intriguing to me how many people didn't really know what they valued. Like, they could easily list off like, oh, I want a new car, or I want a degree, or I want like whatever, the checklist things. I want a big house. Sometimes they even like, I'm on vacation, or I want kids, or whatever. But I'm like, but what do you, as a sovereign being of your ownness, what do you value? What
Mm-hmm.
is so important to you? And I think that's a big part of alignment. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't know what you value, then how can you be in alignment with that?
Yeah.
If you don't know what alignment feels like, then how can you know what you value? And it's such an interesting thing to me when I would kind of push people to be like, what do you really value? Do you value alone time? Do you value togetherness? Do you value deep connection? Do you value someone who makes you laugh? Like, what is that energy that you're just like, hell yes,
Mm-hmm.
I want this? And what is that energy that's hell no, I don't want that? Both of those things are going to lead you to what you value, which is going to lead you to understanding and feeling what alignment is for you. And I think it's important if you don't know the things that you value and know that they will change too. So don't be afraid to say what they are because they could change. You change as a person. Like I said, I wasn't a particularly spiritual person for I wouldn't say most of my life because I always had this like I'm a Sag moon. And if you know anything about it, you know that they're like obsessed with the occult. And so I've always been very interested in it. I just didn't necessarily like identify as it for a long time. But that value changed for me. And it was like, I 100% knew that that was a value for me.
Yeah.
And I'm in alignment when I'm around this world and I'm around people who are in this world too.
Yeah. I feel like we're taking this very esoterically, which I love. But for people who maybe are like, WTF are you talking about? What are some maybe physical, external, or like
Head,
signs?
shoulders, knees, and toes signs.
Yeah, that kind of like you're in alignment. So I'm going to share one that happened to me this weekend. I've been struggling with the kiddo, trying to get him to go to school and to like encourage them to find their thing that gets them out of bed in the morning. Typical parenting. Um, and I was just kind of like at this point where I was like, I don't know what to do anymore. So I was like, all right, help. And I reached out to a circle of sisters that I know support me, mentors, partners, and source. And I was like, I don't know what to do with this kid. Somebody help. And then I had to lay it down, and I just had to trust that it was going to come around. And we were at a school function, and a person came up to me and was telling me how amazing this child is and how much they love them and how they want to help them. And this is how they want to help them. And this is what they're going to offer. And it is almost exactly what I needed help with. It just looked a little different, and it came from a different person because I was thinking, how do I do this? How can I do this? And I need to do this and I need to do this. But it came to me from an outside source. And so that looked to me like I'm in alignment. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm asking for the help. I'm open to receiving. And it showed up. And so it was like oh, that's a weird coincidence. But I don't believe in coincidences. So a word that more fits my belief system with living in alignment is synchronicity. Mm-hmm. And when I'm in alignment, synchronicities and miracles are showing up all the time.
Yeah. It's kind of like you step out of your own way and just allow it. Like the flower, you allow it to come to you. You're attracting things that are amazing. And I feel like for me, that is a huge indicator. Like synchronicities, of course, are amazing. But when I'm sitting here and like, I mean, I guess an example from my week, I've had people schedule appointments with me that I have no idea who, and most people who I get work from are like referrals from people, right? And I know who they're referred from. Lately, I've been getting a lot of people who are not referrals, like they found me on Google or whatever. And that for me is like, bam, Bala. I know that I'm in alignment because I'm calling in who's needing from me. I'm calling in, and good things that I want to happen are happening for me. If that's not happening, if I'm struggling with something, if I'm feeling energetically blocked, it's not going to work out for me. Getting out of your own way is the hardest part. Yes. Getting out of your own way and I'm leaving this card on my altar for a reason. Jenny, we just got done doing a moon ceremony, and this card is on my altar. Come to me. Come to me. I'm going to stop chasing, running after all the things, and I'm going to get out of my own way and let things come to me. Come to me. And I suggest, if that's something that resonates with you, you write that shit on a piece of paper and put it in your altar too. Or like write it on your mirror or whatever you need to do. Come to me.
Come to me. Come to me. It reminds me of this fun little manifesting game that I have played with my kids. I learned it from the book, I want to say it was E Squared by Pam Grout. She has these fun little experiments that you can do that prove your thoughts create your reality. And this blew my mind the very first time we did it. And the goal is to pick a color of a car that you don't normally see and say, okay, in the next 24 hours, I'm going to see the yellow cars everywhere. I picked yellow because I live in a suburban area. We don't have taxis here really. And this was way back before Uber even. And holy cow, I saw a yellow Jeep. I saw a yellow diesel truck. I saw a yellow truck. I saw a yellow bug. I saw all of these school buses. Hello, they count, but my brain just didn't count them as cars. And so this eventually evolved into, okay, what's my dream car? And can we start pointing out every time we see this car? And there's kind of a period of time when I stopped seeing the car. Like I'll go days. I'll be like, I am not seeing that car for like, when was the last time I saw that car? And for me, I know that's a sign I'm out of alignment. I'm not in vibration with this energy because it's not in my physical field anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm physically not vibrating at this energetic level to pull this car into me. But when I'm in alignment, man, I pull up and I park and I go into the store and I come back, each parked on both sides of me, this dream car that I've got. And I'm like, whoa, look how close it is to me. It's like right there. I can touch it. So that's another really fun physical marker for how you know when you're in alignment with what your goals are.
And I think another, if we're talking about fun activities to do, to play, asking your guides what you need. My favorite is going to the grocery store and asking my guides and saying, what do I need? And allowing my guides to give me what I need, because I mean, that's a big part of alignment, right? Alignment's the goal. And sometimes there's energies that are missing for us. What do I need? What do I need to be in alignment? What do I need to feel better? And if nothing really comes up, okay. And if something does, perfect. Then I'm gonna go get that. I'm gonna let my guides guide me to what that looks like. And I'm gonna surrender. But that's because Jasmine is a recovering control freak, also recovering OCD.
Ooh,
So come to me
come
and
to me.
surrender are huge life lessons that I have to remind myself pretty frequently to do. And if you knew me a long time ago, you would know that for certain. Most people nowadays are like, what?
Yeah, I did not know either of those things about you.
Because
Just learned something new.
because I and you know what? How I learned that I needed to recover is because I had a bit of breakdown because I was feeling so out of alignment. Because it's not like me to be overactive, over controlling. It was just overactive energy of a particular gene key that was making me struggle. So we
Oh,
are very curious your thoughts on alignment.
yes.
What does alignment mean to you? What does being in alignment look like? What does not being in alignment look like? I really do love to point out what not looks like. And I know some people are not about that game and they don't love that. But for me, a no is an answer.
Mm-hmm.
This is what this is a hell no for me. And I personally am okay to get that answer because then it's just like, all right, don't go down that path. Door closed. Boom, move on. So that may be all of what you know. You might not know the positive side yet. You may be on this journey to figure that out, but you may very well know what does not work for you.
Yeah. But that contrast is so important to helping you know what you do want. A lot of times when people are like, I don't know what I want, it's like, well, what do you not want? And then let's find just the polar opposite and try it on and see how it feels.
Yes.
It's not always a perfect fit, but yeah. And if you're struggling with alignment and what the heck is that and how do I find it? And I think a really easy way to know if you're in alignment or not is that not that everything in life is awesome, right? Because that doesn't always mean alignment, like Jasmine was saying. But like even when you're struggling with something, that you still feel okay. You're like, everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Like, all right, no big deal. How do we manage this? And there's no stress, there's no drama, there's no why me? Like the drama's just gone. You're like, oh, okay, this is happening. All right, let's manage
Oh,
this. Like with my kids, it was like, oh, guys, the week before I was having a why me? And I got myself back in alignment, and then something else happened. It was like, okay, cool, let's deal with this. So it's a practice. It's a practice.
and I think you like if we had to leave it on any point at all, like if we had to say, okay, point three and final comments, I think that's a great one. Like alignment isn't forever. Like once you get there, you're not like on it all the time. You kind of like boop. I like to think of bumpers, and if you want to learn more about your bumpers and you want to learn and you want Jenny and I to help you get there, we do have this beautiful online thing called Rising, which you can check out if you're interested. Jenny will give you a code that you can use to get $10 off your first month.
Bumpers.
Bumper. I was like, shit, I got so excited talking about Rising. I forgot where I was going. I like to know what an overactive energy for me is and an underactive energy and keeping me boop, 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 boop.
Yeah.
Because bowling is way easier when you have bumpers.
Totally.
Also, living in alignment. When you know what your bumpers are and you know what this is what overactive energy looks like for me, this is what underactive energy looks like for me. If I'm bumping into those things, that means there's a little something. And for me, that means meditation. That means I need to go within and I need to figure out and do the work and figure out what's happening inside of me that's making me not be in alignment. And usually that answer comes pretty quick in the form of yesterday's silent meditation. Another plug for studio thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about plugging in the studio tonight. Silent meditation is awesome. Ash is an amazing instructor. He's super awesome. Anyways, I came out of it with the rage. Once I sat in it and I was like, okay, this is the issue. Boom, had a conversation, good to go. Like, it doesn't have to be this forever. But I hit that bumper and I was like, oh, anger? Okay, you're about to slice whoever comes in your path. That means I'm not in alignment. Real clear indicator, the solid nope. And I need to have a conversation with someone. And it didn't take forever. It wasn't even a big to do. Had the conversation, solid, moved forward, back in alignment. So just knowing that you can pop in and out fairly quickly once you get these kind of bumpers in place, they're super helpful.
Yeah. It makes me think of have you ever done a slack line or know what a slack line is?
Yeah.
So it's this, for anybody that doesn't, it's this line that's put between two trees or two poles. It's about 2.5
Yeah,
3 inches, yeah, wide. It's like a toe strap, basically. And it's really fun to try it to balance and walk this line. And there's very rarely, I've never seen anybody get on it and just walk. Right? There's always this like over here. Oh, okay, now we're over here. Okay, and then we're over. And then if you get too far, then you fall off if there's no bumpers keeping you back in line, or if you have a hand that's keeping you from falling all the way off.
Yeah.
And it's there's no like alignment doesn't mean a straight line. Alignment just means that you're in this motion, this energy of finding that balance between human and spirit. and life and higher self. And the bumpers, the whole thing of bumpers, like learning what your bumpers are is so powerful. And when I finally figured out what my bumpers were, and then was like, oh my gosh, then it's easier to find when you're out of alignment, instead of like going down this spiral of like, why do I feel this way? It's like, oh, I'm in the shadow frequency. Okay, how do I move up into the gift frequency? And so if you're like, what the heck, how do you find out these bumpers? That's what we do in Rising. It is one of the things we teach in Rising. And it is really so empowering.
Incredibly powerful to learn your life rhythms, to learn what your bumpers are. And each of these things feel and act totally different with different people. Mm-hmm. And that's like Jennie and I's life work. It is to help you understand. It's not, we don't teach like crazy new techniques every single time. We just teach different aspects of the same techniques so that you can really understand them, because you don't need 400 tools. You really need to understand the ones you have before you move on to bringing and integrating new things. So really understanding who you are, because understanding you, understanding your rhythms and your bumpers, I really don't think you can go further without knowing that.
Yeah. It's just harder. It's this unknown. And you'll find, like, I discovered I would go through these cycles and I was just like, why do I always feel this way at this certain time of a year? What are my top 3 in my zodiac? Oh, that makes sense because of where the sun is or where the earth is, or like these things really can affect you. And when you start to understand them and comprehend them, you start to feel less crazy.
Yeah. And you can start to channel that energy for good instead of evil.
Yeah. You can have more compassion on yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. More compassion, more excitement, anywho. Mm-hmm. Okay. So tomorrow we're doing readings.
Oh, yeah.
And meditation. And it will be like a little bit of a moon meditation because we're getting ready to go into Aries season.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that. And then we'll talk more about stuff going on in the studio and whatnot. Hello to everyone who's popping on. If you want to check out our website, we have a bunch of exciting stuff happening. Our favorite thing is Rising. Obviously, we talk about it all the time. It's our online healing group where we do readings, class, full moon, new moon ceremonies, whatever we decide ceremonies. And then you get to hang out with us really pretty much anytime you want during the week in our video chat room thing. We have retreats.
We have a Reiki retreat coming up next month.
And then we have a couples retreat after that.
Yeah,
which is very exciting.
want to learn more about energy healing and Reiki and get certified, that retreat is very powerful, very, very powerful and fun.
Reiki was my gateway drug to the energy world. And now I have several masterships. And I, of course, am one of the masters. Jenny teaches. Amber is the other Reiki master who teaches. And then Carrie also teaches as well. So that's really fun. It's going to be level 1 and 2. It will be the last time that we do level 1 and 2 this year.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in mind, that this is the last time that we're doing 1 and 2 this year. After that, we'll have a level 3, but you will have had to go through level 1 to go to level 3.
Yeah. You don't have to have level 1 and 2 through us to get level 3 with us.
No.
But you do need 1 and 2 before you come.
We will need to have a conversation just so that we make sure that you're on the same page.
Yeah. So.
Sweet.
And then relationship retreat, couples retreat. If you want to come and have a weekend with your special someone and learn how to consciously connect, consciously communicate. We're going to talk about
really feel each other on a deep level, like really feel each other and feel touch is super fun. I love it when people actually really feel touch of their partner for the first time, like unconditionally feel them. It's really fun.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be juicy. Oh, it's going to be so juicy.
I'm so excited.
So, okay. We went 30 minutes.
I know. We got to go.
10.
We got to go. This is supposed to be 5-10 minutes, but we're never 5-10 minutes. So,
but we're our own bosses. We make our own rules. So
we do what we want.
I love it. But be a flower and let the bees come to you. That's living in alignment.
Yes, that's our quote for today. Be a flower. The bees come to you. You just have to receive it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Now, Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Set your alarms and join us and bring your friends.
Yes.
For cards, pull cards and do a moon ceremony, meditation-ish thing. Or a jobber.
Okay.
Bye.